delectable people of the internet. I hope you're all doing delightful. Today we're working back on my L67 VY Calais drift car. We're going to do a couple of little upgrades to the valve train on the engine. So let's dig in and I'll show you what we've got going on. Rightio, so for those of you that don't know, this is my VY L67 drift car, full build on my channel if you have not seen it. We put a replacement engine in this car a little over a month ago. And before we put that engine in, we actually pulled the timing case off and fitted a double row timing chain to it in anticipation of doing some valve spring upgrades and stuff, which I'll get to in a sec. But we fitted the timing chain, put the engine in the car, and it was having issues with oil pressure. So if the car sat for more than about an hour, you'd start the car, would run with 0 oil pressure for about 10 seconds, and then it would get oil pressure. But at idle, oil pressure was low. At revs, it seemed to be okay. It was probably 5 or 10 PSI off where I'd really like it to be. But I just didn't obviously like it having no oil pressure when you start it and having low oil pressure at idle. So what I've actually done, so we did do an event with it at Calder Park and it went a whole day, ran flawlessly and didn't have an issue. But once we got back, I actually pulled the timing case off this car with oil pump and water pump and everything. And our old engine that we broke a piston in, which is there, I took the whole timing case off that, fitted a machined oil pump cover to it, and fitted it to this engine after I painted it pink, because pink is punk. And yeah, now our oil pressure issues are well and truly sorted. So I don't know if it's got an issue with the pressure relief valve or the pump gears itself or whatever, but now our oil pressure is brilliant. So plan for this episode is I'm going to fit some valve springs to the car. I bought all of this stuff years and years and years ago for another project. Can't even remember what it was. But I do know that these are 120-pound valve springs. You can also get 135-pound ones, which are obviously heavier than this. These are going to be more than good for our setup, still running a standard cam and stuff. We're going to upgrade the push rods. These are both the same length, these two kits. These ones have got the ball style end, which is what I think these cars run, and these ones have the tapered end. We're also going to do upgraded retainers, so Crocam's chromoly retainers, and as well as Crocam's chromoly keepers or collets or locks, whatever you want to call them. Got some assembly lube and also got a couple of new rocker cover gaskets. So when you upgrade valve springs on V6 Commodores or on any car that runs a timing chain, for that matter, it is recommended to upgrade the timing chain, which is why we have already done the Rollmaster double row chain. If you haven't seen that episode, I'll drop a link in the description below. So basically where we're going to start with is I'm going to remove the strut tower brace, pull the engine cover off and pull the intake off. And then, yeah, I guess I'll just show you how we go about it. Right, yeah, I've got that stuff off and I've also removed the fuel lines and just tucked them out of the way as well, just to give us a bit more space. Now we'll pull the rocker cover off. Awesome, rocker cover is off, and I've also gone through and pulled the spark plugs out of this side as well. They're just chilling here. They are a little bit orange on the tips, and that's just because I run octane boost with the 98 octane fuel that I run in this thing. So now we can go through and pull all the rockers off, undoing all of these bolts, these 10mm bolts. And you do need to keep these in order and put them back on in the same spot, essentially. So that's next. Rockers are off with the rocker plate. So next step is to go through and pull out all of the push rods. These do have the ball type, so that's good because we have them. So all of these push rods just pull out. Some people say if you're doing valve springs, you should be upgrading lifters at the same time. To do the lifters, which is what basically pushes on the bottom of the push rod, you do need to take the supercharger off and the inlet manifold and then the lifter buckets underneath that to get the lifters out. We're not going to do that. We're just going to do the push rods and the valve springs. So we'll get all the push rods out and then I'll show you how we do the valve springs. So what we're basically going to do is use our valve spring compression tool. There's multiple different tools you can get for compressing valve springs. This is just the one that I have, and it's a bit annoying to use, but it does work. We basically lock these two little tabs down near the bottom of the valve spring, wind this up, this pushes down on the top and compresses the spring. Then you need to get a little magnet to remove the keepers in the top of the valve spring. You pull them out and then you can just basically remove the whole scenario. The reason why I have pulled the spark plugs out, it is good measure as you go through each cylinder. So as we do cylinder 6, for example, I'll put the piston at the top of cylinder 6. The reason why is it just avoids any risk. If the valve was to drop while you're doing the spring, it'll hit the piston rather than fall inside the combustion chamber. The valve stem seal does a pretty good job of holding the valve in place, but it's just like a bit of precaution. So that's why I've pulled the plugs out. So we're going to start at the back and work our way forward and get these all changed out. Just wanted to show you sort of the process halfway through getting one of the old springs out. So I've got the valve spring compressed. There are two collets per valve spring. They look like this. And I've got my little magnet to pick them out. So now we'll unwind it and we can remove the retainer and the valve spring. And then it's just a matter of reversing the process with the new spring to put it all back together. Alrighty, so we've got the first one all done and back together. One other thing I forgot as well, I've also got a tool that I made myself. You can see my airline down there. It's an old spark plug that I've chopped up and then just welded an airline fitting on the end of. So I've connected that as well, and that's basically filling the cylinder with compressed air to help push that valve back up against the head. That's just another thing you can do to make sure the valve doesn't drop. So yeah, so that's that. So now we're just going to go through and do the same thing 5 more times, and then we can put this side all back together and start on the other side. Cool beans, got all the driver side valve springs installed with the new collets and retainers, so happy with that, all looking good. Just to give you a bit of a comparison, this is the tool that I made ages ago. This is what I used to fill the cylinders up with air. Old spark plug welded to an airline fitting. This is the best way of making sure the valve stays against the head to keep it up. So just to give you a bit of a look at a few things, obviously these are our new valve springs here. So to give you a bit of a look and height comparison, compare to the new ones versus the old ones. That's what gives you a bit more spring pressure. And then we've got our new push rods versus our old push rods. So we're going to go through now and get this side all buttoned up. We'll drop the push rods in, put a little bit of assembly lube on the top and bottom of them and a little bit on top of the valves. It's not necessary, but I've got assembly lube, so I'm going to do it. I'll have to check what the rocker bolts get tightened to. I think from memory it's about 35 Newton meters, but I'll double check. And then we can put the rocker cover on with the new gasket, put the spark plugs back in and get this side buttoned up. And then we'll get this side apart and do the same thing. This side's all back together and it's now pink. I don't know why I paint things pink, but I did. Anyway, onto this side now. Got the passenger side all pulled apart, ready to start attacking the valve springs. Obviously rockers are off, push rods are out. So we'll just go through and smash this all out. I do apologise, guys. The day is getting on. I've had a lot of distractions today and I've just ended up going through and finishing it. So all the valve springs, retainers, collets, push rods are on. Both rocker covers are painted and back on with new gaskets. Intake's back on. Everything's all back together. Gave the air filter a little bit of a clean out because it was full of rubber. So yeah, basically all that's left now is to hit the key. Beautiful. That all sounds pretty good. Love it when they fire straight up. We're just going to let this thing run for a little while. We'll get it up to temperature and then I'm just going to do an all-in-all filter on it. That's it, legends. This thing is all finished. Got the all-in filter done, engine covers on, strut tower braces done. Righto guys, that's going to do us for this episode. This is something that I've been wanting to do ever since we turned this car into, originally it was going to be a burnout car and then we made it into a drift car. Timing chain, push rods, valve springs, really, really good mods to do on an engine that spends a lot of time high in the rev range. Those items are not really power adding items, they're more reliability items to make the thing a little bit happier when it's high in the, like at a lot of revs for extended periods of time. So really glad that that stuff is now done. Looking forward to getting this thing back out on track. There's probably going to be something happening on this thing in the near future, so stay posted with that. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you want to see more content like this, please remember to like and subscribe. And until I see you guys in the next video, be good to yourselves and each other.